There's an easy way to notify the city about the location of potholes that need to be filled.
The Tacoma Fire Department takes a proactive approach when it comes to building inspections.
And it's time to think about getting those community gardens ready.
All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Hi, and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. Winter weather is hard on city streets, as freezing temperatures and heavy rains can bring an increase in potholes.
City crews depend on the community to report potholes in their neighborhood. Reporting a pothole is as simple as calling the city's customer support center, Tacoma First 311. Requests can also be made online by visiting their online resources page, clicking Make a Request, and finding the pothole, street repair, or maintenance link. There you can fill in all of the requested information. Once submitted, it usually takes Public Works Street operation crews 5 days to fulfill a request, but it can take a little longer with a high volume of requests. Visit the city's Customer Support Center page to find out more.
The city's East 40th Street Green Stormwater Infrastructure Project has been recognized for excellence. The project received a Green Roads Silver certification from the Green Roads Foundation and is currently the highest scoring project to date. This certification recognizes excellence in sustainable design, construction, and maintenance of transportation projects. The project features a 16-foot shared-use path built along the new roadway from East McKinley Avenue to Portland Avenue East. Stormwater features were also added to improve water quality in the area. For more information on this project and other green infrastructure projects, visit cityoftacoma.org/GSI. Soil, water, mulch, seedlings. Spring is just around the corner, and so is planting season at many of Tacoma's community gardens.
More than 36 community gardens are scattered throughout the city from Browns Point to the south end. In past years, a staggering 140,000 pounds of produce was grown, supporting families with fresh fruits and vegetables. It's a yummy labor of love, giving many a chance of working and meeting members of your community with the common goal of nutrition. To find out more on workshops and finding a community garden near you, log on to the Pierce Conservation District Community Garden website. Metro Parks Tacoma envisions a vibrant, active, and engaged community. You can help them towards this goal by signing up to be a volunteer. Programs accepting volunteers include community centers, advisory councils, recreation, arts, nature, and more. Be part of something bigger and help Metro Parks further its mission to create healthy opportunities to play, learn, and grow. Visit their website to find a topic that interests you and start your volunteer journey today. Affordable housing in the community continues to be a top priority.
To help with this, the City of Tacoma and the Tacoma Planning Commission will focus on evaluating and considering how to diversify housing and also increase density throughout Tacoma neighborhoods to create more affordability.
The City Council has been really making a push on all sorts of fronts to try and connect people with housing that meets their needs. And part of that is in creating more housing. So that's where missing middle housing and diverse housing types and density, all those things come into the story. Right now we're dealing with supply of housing that is not growing fast enough to meet the growing demand, and it's also not creating the diversity of housing types and diversity of price points that people need to be able to get into housing where they want to live and that really meets their needs. So the city is initiating a one-year effort to really study our housing growth strategy and figure out what works for Tacoma in terms of creating more housing choices and affordable housing options for people throughout the city.
For more information about how to get involved or to learn more about planning for housing, visit the webpage. We're going to take a quick break.
And when we come back, we'll meet the new Public Information Officer for the Tacoma Police Department. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Tacoma Report. Joining us today is the new Public Information Officer for the Tacoma Police Department, Officer Wendy Haddle, to discuss her new role with the department. Officer Haddle, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and you can call me Wendy.
All right, Wendy, thank you. So Wendy, Loretta Cool, previous Public Information Officer for Tacoma Police Department. Did you have an opportunity to work with Loretta?
Well, I've been with Tacoma 22 years, so yes, many times I've been able to work with Loretta. And she actually mentored me when I went into the application process for K-9. And then she was also a hostage negotiator, like I was also after her when she retired out of that position. And then she assisted me getting this position with some tips for the interview process.
Nice, very cool. Now, so can you explain to our viewers what the duties and roles are of a public information officer and what happens when a call comes in?
So I am the go-between between our department and the media. They might hear about a call on a scanner, or they might hear it through social media, or they might have seen a briefing put out, and they call me and ask for details about the situation.
Okay, very cool. Now, so you mentioned you've been with Tacoma for 22 years, law enforcement for a total of 26. So can you share what some of your roles have been?
Sure. I started out with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department as a deputy for 4 years. I transitioned to Tacoma. I was in patrol for 5 years, and then I went to K-9 as a generalist handler. That's one who looks for suspects, does building searches, looks for evidence. I did that for 9 years and then went back to patrol and applied for the hostage negotiation team. And that's a collateral duty that you do in addition to patrol. And did that until I was graced with this job as the PIO. Through that time period, all but 1 year was graveyard patrol.
Okay. Wow, a lot of experience, a lot of hats. Now, so as a public information officer, what types of goals do you have in your position?
Well, it's always to provide timely, accurate information to the media and the citizens of Tacoma. I also stand in, if needed, for the department at public events. I'm the spokesperson occasionally, and I also have recently been appointed as the LGBTQ liaison, so I will handle those duties.
Okay, perfect. And so you mentioned your work in your effort to support the community in various ways. Can you give us some examples?
Well, we fundraise a couple times a year for the Special Olympics, one of my favorite events to watch. And I also participate in Law Enforcement Youth Camp, where officers from Pierce County, all departments throughout Pierce County, take children who wouldn't normally be able to afford it to camp for a week. Yes. Nice. And we also endorse Shop with a Cop, where Tacoma officers take children around Christmas time to shop for gifts for themselves and their families.
Cool, very cool. We appreciate all that you're doing. And one final question, what can the community do to support you and the police department?
Well, realize that we try to provide information as soon as possible. Sometimes we're not able to provide certain details of a case because detectives are still investigating the facts. And they might have a lead on a suspect, and we don't want them to leave the area.
Right.
So everything in the end will be disclosed, but while it's ongoing, we may not be able to provide all the information. And we also ask that you help us with all of our endeavors to support the community through Shop with a Cop, LEYC, and of course the Special Olympics.
Very cool. Well, Wendy, we definitely appreciate everything that you're doing to provide the information to the community, the public, and everything that the department is doing. Thank you so much for being on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure meeting you and having you here today, and we hope you come back.
Thank you. I appreciate the practice. As everyone knows, I've only had this job since the beginning of January, and it's still new to me. So I ask the citizens to bear with me when you see me on the media It is not my natural environment, and it's a learning process.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Thank you. For more information on the Tacoma Police Department, please visit their website. When we come back from the break, we'll learn what the Tacoma Fire Department is doing to help make buildings safe in the community. Don't go away. Public safety first responders have to be both reactionary and proactive.
For the Tacoma Fire Department, the preemptive approach they take with local businesses has been credited with preventing many possible fires in our own community. Lane Fickey has more.
There are 4,000 buildings and more than 10,000 commercial businesses in the city of Tacoma. The Tacoma Fire Department is required every year to inspect each business, occupied or not, to make sure there are no safety issues for the employees who work there, the citizens who frequent them, and the firefighters who may have to respond to those locations.
Typically when we come in, we're looking for holes in the walls, holes in the ceiling that's going to spread fire vertically or horizontally. We're checking to make sure that your fire protection systems have been up to date. They're supposed to have an annual test done, so we're checking that. We're also checking your fire extinguishers, make sure they're properly mounted, that they've been certified in the last year. Also looking for fire hazards such as extension cords, open flames possibly in a building.
The changes that need to be made to comply with the safety regulations can be simple fixes to violations that require major modifications to the building. Not knowing what violations might be found might cause a nervous stomach or two, but the majority of the business owners know that there is a real value to these walkthroughs.
I'd have to say the majority of them, they're happy that we come in. They like us to come in and show us what they could do to maybe improve it's their business. They don't want to lose their livelihood either. So for the most part, most of them appreciate us coming in, doing a professional job. They're always happy to see the fire department.
If there are violations, 15 business days are given to get them resolved. Firefighters will then come back to check on their status.
If it hasn't been corrected, then we refer you to the fire prevention office. Then they will contact you, come back in another 3 to 4 weeks. If you are not making attempts to correct the problem, then you can be assessed a fine for failure to comply with the International Fire Code.
Tacoma fire officials say that most business owners are pretty quick to get the violations fixed because they know that these are issues that cannot be put off. For Tacoma Report, I'm Lane Fickey.
You can find out more about the building inspection process by going to the city's website.
Are you a minority or woman-owned business interested in learning more about the city's contracting and procurement processes? If so, you might want to check out the city's Equity and Contracting program. It offers access to contracting and procurement opportunities, as well as guidance and technical assistance. The program focuses on helping historically underutilized businesses interested in providing services, supplies, and public works support to the city of Tacoma. More information can be found online.
Don't forget, the City of Tacoma is hosting T-Town, Play, Explore, Learn City Services Expo on March 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tacoma Dome. Learn about city services, how Tacoma's municipal government works, and share ideas and feedback about how the city should utilize its resources. It's an interactive community event featuring live demonstrations and hands-on activities for the entire family. New this year, there will also be a quiet hour from 10 to 11 a.m. for guests seeking low sensory stimulation. Free parking will also be available at the Dome.
And finally, why put miles on your personal car when you can put them on a transit-owned van and have a stress-free commute? Groups of 5 or more people can pay monthly fares that cover gas, insurance, maintenance, and even 24-hour roadside assistance. RideshareOnline.com can help you connect with all regional vans operating your area based on your work schedule and location. Find out more online. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. Thanks for watching.